Warning: our content is intended for mature audiences only. Being an adult does not constitute maturity. If you have a strong sense of emotional entitlement, are sensitive to strong language, or have disdain for views that are not your own, this show is not for you. Viewer discretion is advised.
How you doing, everybody? This is Dave from Riverside.
And I'm his girl, Amberilla.
And this is Unapologetically Correct in Black and White.
Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified.
So now, let's get it on.
Let's do it. Hey there, everybody. Thank you for joining us again today. We are going to kick this session off talking about Donald Trump and the reasons why they want him gone. So that's just to start the conversation off. I want to hear what David has to say.
My opinion why they want him gone. Number one, he knows where the bodies are buried. Number two, there's something people don't, and I don't understand, they don't grasp. Here's a man who made billions of dollars in hospitality, high-end hospitality. So these same people that don't want him around understand he knows where these bodies are buried. Why? The way I'm sitting across from my wife and we're shooting the gip is what they did with him at these high-end places. Sat across from him, not understanding or even knowing that this guy may run for president one day, thinking that he's one of them, told him who they are in relation to how they feel about us. And the moment this cat said, I'm running for president, and because Republicans fit the scheme of what he feels in relation to his politics, is why he chose Republican. Because he's a conservative. He's not a Republican. He's not a Democrat. He's a conservative. So now once he came down that escalator and turned to his son and said, now you can find out who your friends are. Once he made these speeches to tell you who they are, they got up in arms. Why? Because he's putting you in the room at the table, place we'd never been before. It was always closed door, behind the scenes, indiscreet, and hidden. He let you peek in the window. He let you climb through the window. And the ones who couldn't get through the window, he opened the door for you. Here they are, folks.
Now, before we get too much into that, let's talk about why a lot of people believe that he is the most influential president since Washington, Lincoln, and Reagan.
Because we just spoke on it. He puts you in the room. He doesn't talk at you through a teleprompter. He's not running around there trying to adjust his tie every 2 minutes, reading speeches. He's giving it to you off the top, from the heart, directly to you, and he's speaking in your terms. As a regular American, everyday guy. That's why he connects with us. When he walks into, think about it, a bodega, around people that a lot of Republicans were afraid to go around. They celebrate the dude. He has a rally in the Bronx where the Popeye Puerto Rican said he wasn't going to make it.
And the Popeye Puerto Rican, for those of you that aren't aware, is AOC.
Yeah, when she thought, he's going to get his. He sure did. It's called a round of applause and much appreciation. Why? Because they're feeling the heat from Bidenomics. A term he don't even want to use no more. That dude's sorry is a book of written apology.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. All right, now I want to touch topics on why he's important to the minority community, other than the obvious seat at the table, like you've stated a couple of times.
I'm going right back. What you mean obvious?
Obviously there's that, but I want to go to what he's done for Black community, what he's done for Hispanic community, minority communities.
Seat at the table means policy. His policies will benefit to the Black community. For example, when was the last time you heard somebody talk about, say, man, we need big box in Black neighborhoods? Well, he initiated a program, him and Tim Scott, called Opportunity Zones, where they were convincing big boxes. Let's not forget who this guy is. He's business, not politics. So he's convincing his friends to put up places that will provide convenience in relation to shopping, employment, and community growth. That's what Opportunity Zone meant. And here's something else they're not telling you. That his daughter was running a program which back in the day was called OJT, on-the-job training. For the jobs he was trying to usher back in here through what? Tax cuts for them, for industry, so they can provide a job for you. Another one, the hoodwink and bamboozling is, well, taxes for the rich and all the rest. I don't care about taxes for the rich and all the rest, because taxes for the rich and all the rest, as long as my check don't bounce, I don't care what he pays for taxes. I care about the fact that every time I have to get up and go to work to pay my taxes, his check ain't bouncing. And that's what's important. Not that bullshit they're telling you about, boy, taxes, this, that, and the rest of it, and they send that shit out the country anyway.
There's that, and I want to touch on the tax thing for the wealthy because they act like it's not going to affect us. When you tax somebody and you tax them exorbitant amounts of money, it directly affects everyone, especially when these people are providing jobs. They're providing food, they're providing clothing and things like that we actually need, because now they have to raise the prices on all those things to cover the difference that they're having to pay in tax. So it does directly affect everyone, even if you're only taxing the rich, as they try to sugarcoat it like it's only going to affect the wealthy. It's not going to affect middle class, and it's not going to affect poverty level people. It is. It's going to affect all of us.
Babe, listen, number one, is not enough rich people to pay the country's taxes. That's number one. So it's always going to come back to you. That's the hoodwink and bamboozle part of it. Tax all the rich and all the rest. You are taxing the rich and all the rest. They do pay a lot of taxes, a hell of a lot. Some of these dudes pay enough taxes, you could feed a whole community. Let's not get that twisted. The fact of the matter is, you need big box. You need industry in your community, because industry is your circle of life. That's what moves the country, not central bank printing money, but we aren't producing anything to cover the money that you printing. It's as simple as that. It's not difficult. And coming back to the black community in that regard, the man initiated programs to build your community. What do these cocksuckers do? Create issue and convince other Negroes to come to your community and burn the motherfucker down, and then want the same people that convinced the dumb Negroes to burn the place down to build it back. That ain't happening.
No.
So all of your Black Lives Matter and all the rest, we can go through that from now until times get better. Yeah, Black lives should matter in your community, because you're the people that burning the motherfucker down. You're the motherfucker that's shooting up the funeral parlor. You're the motherfucker that you can't go out to a nightclub, have a good time and dance. You can't go to the park and have events. You can't go out there, play basketball and look at your kids grow out in the sun where they're supposed to. Why? You are convinced to tear your own place down. You haven't been taught to respect each other. Men haven't been shown how to be men. I was taught by two good men. Respect women and be able to take care of the one that you have. None of that is being taught in the community. None of it. But yet you get poverty pimps, like a bunch of my name, I'll get back to them later, that are telling you how oppressed you are, how bad your community is, police killing you from night to night and all the rest of it, and that's not happening. You're killing your fucking self. That's the bottom line. You can yell and scream, Donald Trump and all the rest, man, it's Republicans. It's not Donald Trump and all the rest, and man, it's the Republicans. It's you. You're being convinced and being hoodwinked and bamboozled by the Democrats that you are oppressed, that you need the government help. You can't do anything without us.
That is something I wanted to touch base on too, because they have no policy. Democrats have zero policy. You never, ever hear them talking about policy, what they're going to do to make the country better, how they're going to improve the lives of everyday Americans. They don't talk about it because they don't care about it. Okay. All they do is race bait and put forth concerted efforts to divide us further, because as long as we're divided, we're too busy bickering amongst each other. We're not focusing on what they're doing and all the dirt that they're doing behind the scenes. Because, there's a lot of places that I can think of where that money that we're sending abroad could be better spent. It could be better spent building Black communities, Hispanic communities, improving schools, instead of, having these educators have to pull money out of their own pocket to provide supplies for their students. It can go to that. It can go to fixing the roads, because nobody wants to drive on a shitty road. As truck drivers, we constantly complain when we go through places where it's predominantly Black. Let's just be honest. It's predominantly Black. It's Black ran, Democrat ran. The highways are absolute shit.
Speaking of that,
Jackson, Mississippi, huge example.
You know what's funny? You brought to my attention that very thing. Any place you see Martin Luther King Boulevard,
it's the hood.
It's the dump.
It's the hood. You want to find the dump in the hood in any major city. All you got to do is look for Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard, MLK Drive, whatever. Anything with Martin Luther King, that's going to put you in the center of the hood. It does not matter what city you're in, what town you're in. If they have one, that's where it's at.
But the thing about that is this, with the roads and whatnot, that's all part and parcel of your tax dollars not going where it's supposed to go.
Exactly.
You relying on someone who doesn't give a damn so they don't show up. And then on top of that, you not taking responsibility what's going on in your community. Like you was just talking about the schools. Half these dudes, entertainment's going down the goddamn drain because they couldn't play dead at their own funeral. There's no music class. There's no shop class.
No.
There's no automotive. There's no nothing.
No, there's no home ec. I mean,
there's no. They don't teach you anything. Now it's DEI.
Yeah.
Didn't earn it.
Yeah.
Hey, give it to them because they're why? What are you kidding? Look at this nincompoop that they call vice president.
God.
He's a nitwit, a nincompoop, and a freaking moron.
Can I just ask one question about that? What has she done since she's been in that seat? What has she done? Because I can't think of anything. Yeah.
With a goofy laugh.
Oh.
Talk in circles because she has absolutely no concept what the job consists of. So she talks in circles. When we do things are done. And when they're done, they're completed. And when you know they're completed, that means the project is over. Instead of looking and cackle like a freaking hyena. This chick is about as sharp as a box of great value butter knife.
I think honestly, because she was, during the debates in 2020, she was constantly talking about how racist Joe Biden was. And then all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, she's his running mate. And I think, and I'm pretty sure America can agree, or at least the majority of us can agree, that they had to have promised her the presidency.
They did.
They had to have.
It's DEI, because they knew Biden was a nitwit and a moron. And they knew if they get rid of this dude, these people look down the road. They look down the road. They're not looking in front of them. They look down up the street. They knew damn good and well, this dude's a puppet and she's a nitwit. She's going to be just as easy to manipulate. She's a moron. That's the bottom line. Mm-hmm. And this is our leadership. And our community. Here's what I'm happy about in that regard. They appear to be trying to wake up, but you better do it a little quicker.
Yeah, they're running out of time.
Because you're being replaced.
Speaking of schools, they're taking schools in Black neighborhoods, closing them down and using them to house illegals. These are your children's education. The ability for your children to have the opportunity to become educated and actually make something of themselves and get out of the situation that they're being brought up in is being stripped away to house illegals. If that doesn't infuriate you as a mother, as a father, as an American, there's something seriously wrong with you and seriously wrong with your thought process. You need to wake up.
Here it is. You got these dudes, these poverty pimps, and people are trying to herd you back to the plantation. The important thing to them is, did you see the one with the eyelashes? Called her this and called her that and called her the other. Told my Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene and
some dummy.
Crockett.
Who cares? I don't care if it's Davy Crockett. I couldn't care. Because what's important is what we're speaking of. The death of a community. Not what this chick's running around Congress rehearsing and finally had a chance to say it.
She was running that shit through her mind.
Because she's number one, she's not witty enough to come off the top of that. That's number one.
Right. She was waiting for the opportunity to use that one.
So now this is her moment, not policy, not how we're going to fix this country. You hear what I said to Marjorie Taylor Greene? Oh, wow. Yeah,
now all of a sudden she's relevant. She's been on a couple of different shows because of it. And it's like, you literally, you want to talk about body shaming. This woman talked about eyelashes. Everyone makes fun of these chicks with walking around these huge fucking eyelashes. And you took that opportunity to talk about her body?
But none of it is relevant.
It's not relevant. It's certainly not relevant to what's going on in this country and what they're supposed to be fixing.
In crisis, man. You can't go to school. They tell them, send them home. Let them learn from home. Really now. You can barely speak English, much less spell. I had to tell the little kids around me listen, 12 times 12 is not 122. Because you don't know how to read, write, count, and everything within your life is stunted. Everything. Like I was saying earlier, the music you listen to, people look at me like, oh man, you listen to that old stuff. You know what it's called? It's called talent. People that spent years learn from junior high into high school, into college, to play instruments, to write music, to be creative. Those days, that's over with. You have no sense of creativity. You can't play instruments. You can barely read. You can barely write. You're barely above a 9th grade reading and writing and counting level. Barely. But the big call of the day is chick with the eyelashes talk bad about the congresswoman. That's the call of the day. That's what's important. And then you got some other dude, looks like a dead rat, calling out Byron Donald, because Byron Donald was speaking about something that's goddamn important. The black family during an era, not that it was great. The fact that during an era where we were supposed to have been oppressed, you had the nuclear family. That was the point of conversation. That's what was supposed to be important. That's what's supposed to be important now. Men teaching boys to be men. Men teaching boys to respect women. Women teaching women to respect themselves. We don't do any of that. We're sitting there listening to some dude sitting at a locker with a folded Malcolm X book telling you how oppressed you are at $100 million a pop. That's what's important. Some motherfucking dude one of them same dudes that was sitting at that locker gave homie a whole bunch of cash and donated some clothes to go someplace and get his life right. He didn't.
He's talking about George Floyd.
He got killed. And that is a product of his own actions. What do? We celebrate down to the grave. Never mind the cats that are there actually trying to help you. Never mind people like Bob Woodson, Vincent Ellison, and the rest that are creating programs to help you. Never mind the fact that once we spoke on this a few minutes back, Donald Trump, Tim Scott, and the rest of them trying to build your community. Never mind that. It's the dude that ran from the police. Oh, scared. No, you guilty. Black people better get their head out of their goddamn ass. Fast. Because they have a guy named Mayorkas. He has places around, not around of this country, around this globe, that he is aiding, and they are aiding and assisting to bring these people, not just, they ain't running across no border, man, they're flying them in to your community, because they certainly not going to Martha's Vineyard. You better wake the fuck up, and you better quit listening to dummies, nitwits, morons, asswipes that are leading you down a fucking path of destruction. You don't have time. You have from now until November to figure it the fuck out. Because if you do not, and this place changes, you do not count. Because you barely count now. You have a fucking seat at the table, man. This dude gave you a fucking foothold. You finally are important to somebody, and that's why those motherfuckers are coming in this country, man. You are important, finally. What are you going to do with this point of importance? This point, the most important point in the whole time from slavery to now, is here. Because they're trying to fucking replace you, man. Tyson is moving out of some places to go to others to employ these people. You better well understand this. You better leave homegirl with the eyelashes, dumb shit from up the street, nitwit from down up the way. You better leave them alone. And you better start paying attention to what's going on around you. What's happening to your fucking community that's dying underneath your feet, man. You women better start becoming mothers and teaching your daughters. Fathers becoming, men becoming fathers, teaching your sons. Because I shouldn't have to be out here in the street, man, and tell some dude I see with a job, keep doing what it do, because you never know what young black man's watching you. We supposed to be long beyond that point, man. We're 100 years in here. Every freaking industry we're part of, our shit raggedy. Our shit run down. You go to our community, you don't see doctor's office, lawyer's office, hospital. You see the liquor store, the deli, the Chinese spot with fried rice and wings, and the hair joint, chicks with the plastic hair, shiny shit. Going out there to some little car spot with pants up their ass, shit and piss stains in the back, trying to look cute with them same old goddamn eagle wing eyelashes on. You're doing dick, but you got an asshole full of complaints. Your community's dying, and you're not trying to water the motherfucking grass. You piss on the side of the building. You're supposed to be long above and beyond where you are. There was an industry out there called fucking trucking. And I watched Amazon. Once they started distributing their goods from point A to point B, who do I see take it? Africans and Indians, while Negroes are sitting around yelling and screaming, the white man and all the rest of it, hold on his back. These people come from impoverished countries, Slick. They come here and get it right.
And a lot of times they're first generation as well. So if they can do that, first generation Americans, what is your excuse? You've been here your entire life. Your family was here all the way back to great grandparents being here, and you're still in poverty. So what's the excuse? Same goes for white people. I mean, we've been here for forever too. And there's still white people that are absolutely fucking white trash. White trash. You want to insult a white person? Call them white trash.
I'm not buying it.
Cracker doesn't bother us.
I'm not buying it.
You're not buying what?
These people, you listen, when shit that you do self-inflicted, you understand? Of course, in every community, you're going to have up, down, bad, left, and right. But there's the white folks you don't hear. A bunch of complaints about they're oppressed. They're downtrodden. And you can bet your ass there are white people look down at them, just as you said 5 minutes ago. White trash. Because I've had one tell me, you know what? He has no excuse. white trash. You have no fucking excuse. There has been a civil rights movement. It's long gone. We had a president, I'll say this again, and you're going to hear me say it several times while I'm doing this podcast. You had a president 2 times in. You have black billionaires. One of them I hold in contempt because he had a major entertainment entity. He sold a motherfucker for a basketball team that hasn't won a goddamn thing yet. Robert Johnson with BET. When you know some shit, you can see it in front of you. And I'm going to give you an example. I looked at The Magnificent Seven with Denzel Washington. And when I heard him describe who he was as a character in that movie, the first question to my mind was, who did this movie? This sounds like Bass Reeves. And I would ask motherfuckers left and right, you ever heard of Bass Reeves? No. You ever heard of Bass Reeves? No. Ever heard of Bass Reeves? No. Look at the beginning of Magnificent Seven and you'll find who Bass Reeves is. An African dude married to a white woman helped produce a segment on Netflix. Bass Reeves, America's greatest lawman. Because if you went somewhere that you thought you were getting away, he'd find you. He didn't give a fuck who you were, white, black, or other. Well, Robert Johnson had a chance to produce some of our history, the greatness of. He chose not to. And once he sold it, then it was Willie Dynamite, the Mac, pimping. Let's slap some holes. Let's kill some white boys and rest. Let me turn my ass up to the camera and shake it to a shit turd fall on the ground. Show you my dirty drawers. That's our priority. That's why you get LeBron James. That's why you get Oprah Winfrey. That's why you get the blockhead dude I'll tell you is down the road and the rest of these poverty pimps. Al Wet Rat Sharpton. That's why you get these people. Because they're not telling you about your history. They're telling you about how oppressed you are. As they're making millions. In the place where they're telling you were oppressed at. What's the sense in that? I'm going to turn this over to my better half. This is saying I'm going to get me steamed.
I think we're well past that point. Bringing it back to Donald Trump again, because that's supposed to be our topic at hand today.
Yeah, I know.
But it all ties together, so you didn't go completely off the rails. But Donald Trump was trying to bring back, this plays a huge part in the Black community. Donald Trump was trying to bring school choice to everyone. That means, in case you don't know, that means if you live in the hood and you don't like the school system in the hood that you are currently designated to go to by imaginary lines say you're supposed to go to this school. Donald Trump was trying to remove those lines. So if you wanted your child, you live in the hood, you want your child to go to an uppity white school across town, as long as you can get them there, folks, your child could attend that school. And Democrats have fought every single step of the way to stop him from allowing school choice. What would that do for the Black community? Just that one simple thing. If parents who gave a fuck about their kids' education wanted their children to go to a good school, that removes the excuse for failure. Because you can't say, well, my kid's not out of the hood because they didn't have good opportunities for school. Yes, they did. They could have went anywhere. They could have went to any school. And now when you go to a school that's actually worth half a shit, it forces the other ones to step up their game. Otherwise, they're going to lose funding. That's number one. But it also allows your child a higher education. Now there's a chance for scholarships. There's a chance for student loans to go to college. They get good grades. It removes the excuse for failure. Democrats' entire plan, they always say, get off the Black plantation. Get off the plantation, the mental plantation that Democrats have permanently had you residing in. You didn't even know you were there, but that's where you are. Get off of it because they want to keep you dumb. They want to keep you inside those invisible lines so that you continue to kill each other because it removes responsibility from them. Well, we don't have to kill them. They're doing it to themselves. It's keeping you imprisoned. And let's not pretend like that's not a money grab. The United States has more prisons than any other country in the world. More people incarcerated than any other country in the world. What does that tell you? And these people are in on petty crimes. And let's go back to Donald Trump, who was pardoning a lot of black people, pardoned a lot of black people that were in on petty drug crimes. That who wrote the bill to incarcerate them?
Joe Biden.
Oh, Joe Biden.
Everyone's buddy, Bill Clinton.
Come on, man. Do your research. Do some research. There's a reason that every single person back in the day, every hip hop artist was talking about get that Donald Trump money. Get like Donald Trump. This man had a successful, we can joke about it all day long. He was a reality TV star. Successful one for 10 plus years, if I'm not mistaken. Thank you.
10 years running.
Very successful show. Why? Because this man is a successful businessman. Has he had to declare bankruptcy? Of course. What billionaire hasn't at some point? What billionaire hasn't at some point had a couple of flubs? Okay.
Babe, you realize this man wrote 2 books. Art of the Deal, Art of the Comeback. Mm-hmm. You know what one world leader read him?
I can't remember which one it was, but I know
Xi Jinping. Read both of them. The Art of the Deal and the Art of the Comeback.
If I'm not mistaken, there was also another individual, another leader from another country that's not communist that read them as well and kind of based his whole policy around Donald Trump's ideals because they work.
Viktor Orban, I'm not sure. I think it's the guy from Turkey. I'm not sure.
I'm not sure either, but I know there's at least one. So
there's several.
That's why I said at least.
I'm quite sure. I'm quite sure Putin's another.
Probably so. And let's talk about Putin because the Democratic left has you thinking that he is some kind of crazy terrorist. All this man cares about is his country.
What he's supposed to care about.
Right. His country.
It's what every leader's supposed to care about, their country.
I am so grateful to Tucker Carlson for going over there and showing the American people. Oh, and I know the left media was absolutely pissed about that. But I'm so grateful that he went over there and showed people this man is not a tyrant. Xi Jinping, that's another story. But Putin, he's not a tyrant. He legitimately cares about his country and his people.
You go against the country, you're done.
Yeah.
And I ain't mad at him.
I'm not mad at him
either.
either.
A bunch of them here that have went against this country.
That should be hanging from the gallows. Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah.
Absolutely. Treason is I wanted to touch on this today too. Treason is a hangable offense. And now we have all these people in the media. Now, keep in mind, David and I are ex-convicts, ex-criminals. Okay. So you have all these people in the media, all these news anchors now talking about, oh my God, they're going to prosecute us and they're going to imprison us. And Donald Trump is talking about imprisoning all his political enemies. What are you worried about? Why are you worried? If you're innocent, you're not going to worry about that. You're going to sit there, you're going to shut up and be like, I'm not tripping because, it ain't got shit on me. I'm not going to prison. Now, if you're guilty,
babe,
these people are literally admitting their guilt on television. I mean, literally admitting their guilt.
These are the ones that are smarter than you.
They think they are. Yeah, they're not. They're fucking stupid. Because can you say you don't have a poker face without saying you don't have a poker face? Can you say you're guilty without actually using those words? Because that's what these people are doing.
And here's what's funny about that. The only ones that really ain't guilty are the ones that are asking them, hey, are you worried?
But that's what we all did, right? In jail. How many times did you get asked from other people, how much time do you think I'm going to get for this? Do you think that I'm going to be found guilty if I take it to trial? If you're seeking counsel from other criminals.
You're looking for someone to say something that's going to make you feel good at the moment. Because the reality is, my ass in trouble, man. my ass and God, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah, give me a little bit of hope, please.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, that's what that is. It's a cry for help.
We told her we might have to leave the country. For what?
Right.
What did you do to make you think you have to leave the country?
Right.
Because no matter what you did to him, if he did not have the actual receipts that was going to put your ass in a bind, you'd have sat there now where you'd be sitting there not worrying about it. Because let's be honest.
You'd be laughing.
Which one of these cases? See, I can hear 37 counts, 44 counts, 67 cases.
He's facing 187 years.
Which one of these cases is he worried about?
He doesn't look stressed.
He doesn't look stressed.
At all.
What stressed him out having to sit in that goddamn courtroom in New York or we got other things to do.
Knowing it's all bullshit.
Knowing it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So to hear these Democrats come on, he got 37 counts. What are the charges, Slick? You can yell count. Listen, I can sit up here with a calendar, with numbers on that motherfucking count until we run out of numbers. Yeah. What are the charges? There's a reason Fannie Will's ass in hot water.
Yeah.
There's a reason why the Jamaican judge in D.C. said, hey, not me. I'm putting this shit off.
Indefinitely. Yeah.
There's a reason why the fat guy is down there sweating in the suit in New York.
Yep. And now they're all so scared because if he takes office, when he takes office, God willing.
It's retribution. It's not retribution, man.
It's holding you accountable.
It's holding you accountable.
Yeah.
It's not revenge.
I hope
it's
you got
accountability.
your big boy and big girl panties on, folks, because it's about to get really real, really
when you
fast.
hear that dude tell, listen, McCabe, listen, Strzok, listen, this one, that lawyer up. That cat's serious. These people say, I mean, here it is, you got a dude on a misdemeanor charge sitting in federal prison. Got another dude, misdemeanor charge, about to go to prison. You had a motherfucking dude selling arms, man. Did the same damn thing these two dudes did, nothing happened.
All those people burning down literal cities, nothing happened.
Nothing happened to this day. To this very day, they're tearing shit up.
You had people going through, taking pictures, taking selfies in the Capitol building, and all of a sudden it's an insurrection. But you had entire cities burning to the ground. My hometown, Kenosha, Wisconsin, being one of them. Entire cities burning to the ground. The kid, Kyle Rittenhouse, that protected himself, didn't shoot aimlessly, crazily into the crowd in the mob of people that were chasing him down. He only shot his intended target each time. And they were calling for this boy's head like a lynch mob. Like a lynch mob. Had they found him guilty, had that judge and that jury not been of the right state of mind, it would have absolutely changed the dynamic of this country. The Second Amendment would have been gone. The ability for us to protect ourselves, protect our families, would have been removed because there was no question that that boy was absolutely under attack. And thank God for the Midwest and the South, where men teach their fucking kids how to protect themselves. Because if that boy didn't know what he was doing with that weapon, it would have been a whole nother scenario. And all those idiots out there saying, oh, that was racist, and he did this, and it was racist. Every single person he shot was white. Every single one he shot was white. I'm sitting here scratching my head when all this nonsense is going on. Like, are these people watching the same shit that I'm watching?
No, they're following narratives.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
Baby, here's what I think about. Taking down the street a little bit. This is one kid, 3 motherfuckers, 2 of them on his back. Imagine I was a grown-ass man and knew exactly what he was doing.
Well, I would like to interject that I believe Kyle Rittenhouse knew exactly what the fuck he was doing.
But imagine a guy
someone
with
who was
serious military training.
Yes, exactly.
Was walking through that crowd, getting rid of them.
He wouldn't have been running. He'd have just stand there like, come on if you want to.
Matter of fact, everyone else would have been running.
Yeah, everyone else would have been running like, come on, batter's up, let's do it. And that brings us back to, because, Kenosha's been overrun with riffraff from Chicago. It's sad. David and I went back there for my mom's memorial a couple of years ago, and it looks nothing like it did when I was growing up. It has absolutely
Went the hell in the
turn to shit.
handbasket.
Turn to shit. And I'm going to be quite frank, and this is going to piss some people off, and I don't care because it's absolutely true. The Black population in Kenosha, Wisconsin has exploded, and it turned the city into shit. Absolute garbage. I was so disheartened and so disappointed that my home was gone, because that's what it is. And let's be real for a minute here. Let's talk about that, about people fleeing from their home because of these Democrat-ran cities, people in Los Angeles, people in New York, people in New Jersey,
Chicago,
Detroit, Washington,
Philadelphia.
All of these major cities, these people are fleeing their homes. They don't want to fucking leave. But life has gotten so expensive, the
quality
difficult.
of life has deteriorated to the point where people are running into high-end stores, busting the windows, tearing shit up. They're climbing underneath your car, taking the catalytic converter.
Ugh.
They're not getting arrested.
Or climbing under your house, stealing the copper. I mean, it's just robbing Peter to pay Paul. It's ridiculous.
Home invasions.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, but not to cut you off, dear. Here's what pissed me off about the fleers. They flee to places of peace.
That's what I was going to get. That's exactly what I was going to say. They flee to red states, to cities that are Republican ran, and absolutely destroy it. Nobody there's a reason why people don't like Californians. You think you're smarter than everyone else, and you're not. You're fucking idiots and animals when it comes to driving. Don't even get me started on that. I hate going into LA. And unfortunately, we have to go into the LA every single week. I hate it. The Californians are some of the worst people in this country. New Yorkers too. I think they're tied together. Chicago doesn't even come close. Chicago's its own entity. New Yorkers and Californians are the absolute dregs of society, and they think they're the top tier. They think they're the icing on the cake, and they flee those places, and they come to places like our little tiny small town in Georgia and ruin it. Ruin it. They drive like animals down here. There's no rush here. People live slow down here, man. We're cruising to the grocery store. It's not a race to get there. You bring those antics and those policies and those views here. You know how long LGBTQ stays where we live?
Not very.
I think David saw, maybe a couple at the local Walmart, never saw them again, because it's not welcome here. And we live in a predominantly Black town. Let's not get it twisted, okay? There's a lot of Black folks that live in the South.
Pretty much.
And our little neck of the woods here is predominantly Black, and they don't play that shit here. So when you talk about that song, Try That in a Small Town.
Hey, look here. You better add
From Jason
now.
Aldean.
You better add some cats.
You better add
now.
Stop listening to the people in the cities that are, that's some racist ass shit. No, it's not. You come down here and you ask anybody in a small town, I don't care if they're white, Black, Hispanic, I don't care what they are. If they are acclimated to the South and this is their home, and you come in here with some nonsense and try and burn it down, watch and see how fast color doesn't mean a fucking thing to us. We will band together. Black, white, brown, yellow, green, purple, it does not matter. We will band together as a town and get you the fuck out. Okay?
Listen, I was just talking to my neighbor about that very thing.
Yeah.
If you see light shine in your house, it's me going out there looking at what's going on, because you are my neighbor. And if your wife can't get to him, I'm going to get to him first, because they might come to my house.
Yeah, because don't get it twisted down here. Wives know how to shoot. Kids know how to shoot. They're taught at a very young age how to hunt, how to handle weapons, gun safety, and all that jazz. So you might fuck around coming down here and try to break into somebody's house and get popped by a 5-year-old and be on the evening news.
Like they say, you're going to find out.
You're going to fuck around and find out real fast.
You're going to find out fast.
Real fast. So keep that nonsense in the cities. You come out here,
you
might not leave.
It's not working well for you.
Yeah. Which I absolutely love. And those, the reason Donald Trump is so popular, let's bring it back to Donald. The reason he is so popular is because, like David said earlier, he speaks as an average American. He doesn't sugarcoat words. He says exactly what he thinks. He's a New Yorker. People seem to forget that. That man is a New Yorker through and through. And New Yorkers are notorious for not giving a shit about your feelings. And they're going to tell you, my husband is a New Yorker, in case you couldn't tell from the accent. They don't give a fuck about your feelings. They think up crazy ass nicknames to call you, if you haven't picked up on that already with the Popeye Puerto Rican and all that other shit that he says, that I'm going to have to interject on and let you know who he's talking about. The drowned rat is Al Sharpton. AOC is the Popeye Puerto Rican. I'll clue you in because, man, it took me a long time to learn them all, but he's pretty consistent with the nicknames and very good at it, because I'll be damned if they don't look exactly like that. So, but yeah, Donald Trump speaks as the average American, and he's a man who loves this country.
Let me tell you something. I tell everybody this with Donald Trump. I'm walking through a truck stop. First, I'm sitting and listening to Hillary Clinton. Let's follow the example of California and New York and raise the minimum wage.
Let's fucking not. Let's
right?
not.
So I'm looking at her. Sounds like a cheerleader.
Yeah.
I'm one of those cheerleaders. I look at the Laker girls, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I ain't look at you. Then I hear Donald Trump. Don't let politicians lie to you or fool you. The economy's not doing well. Unemployment is still low. Our jobs are in China. And I've never heard a politician ever say that. They always dance around it. They're like preachers in church that do not give you the message from the book. They give you some interpretation that dances around the real message in the book. So I stopped and listened to him. Son of a gun, let me hear what he has to say. He's a businessman. And then he said he has a way of saying things under his breath before he brings it to the microphone. $150 billion. That could have fixed this country 3 times. Then he went to the mic. That's what Borat.
Borat is Obama, folks.
Sent to Iran. $150 billion of your tax money. And then $1.8 billion in the middle of the night, unmarked bills on an unmarked plane. That's not negotiation.
That's a drug deal.
That's a drug deal in the middle of the night. So you have to ask yourself, unmarked bills, unmarked plane, middle of the night, how much did he get?
Well, he's living in Martha's Vineyard, and it certainly isn't from book sales. I don't care what they tell you.
That's a common sense question anybody with common sense would ask.
Unfortunately, common sense is not so common these days, honey.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
And then from that point forward, look where this country is. Under the foot and finger of Borat.
Oh, yes. Obama in the basement. Who? I know a lot of people are like, Obama's not in the basement. It's Joe Biden. No, it's not. This man can't even form a coherent sentence. Obama himself said his ideal pregnancy, might as well say that because he believes men can get pregnant. That's a whole nother podcast. Obama himself said his ideal presidency would be for him to have some spokesperson out in the front and him run the country from the basement. He literally said it himself. So with that being said, because there's all this speculation now that Joe Biden's not going to make it to November, and they're going to put Michelle, aka Michael Obama, in his place, right? What makes people think? Let's say hypothetically, let's say they do that. Let's say they put Michelle as the front runner instead of Joe Biden. How is anything going to be any fucking different than it is right now? Obama's in the basement running the shit show. That's literally dragging this country into the depths of depravity. On a moral standpoint, on an economical one, how would it be any different if Michelle was... There's no difference. He'd still be running it from the fucking basement. We would still be on a continual downslide.
But if somebody thinks this dude's been a nitwit for 52 years in office, all of a sudden got sharp, this sharp.
Joe Biden, yeah, absolutely not.
All of a sudden, let me tell you something. I heard somebody saying this was a sports guy. I well goddamn believe it. One of the smartest dudes walking that White House was Borat.
Yeah.
I goddamn believe it because he is no joke. This is not the Democrats.
He's a silver-tongued devil, as they say. Yeah.
In my opinion, this is not the Democrats and the Republicans fighting each other. This is Donald Trump's wit against Borat's wit.
Yep.
2 sharp dudes.
Yep.
Fighting for this country.
Yep.
Fighting for control of it.
And the only reason that so many people voted for Obama Because let's not get it twisted. White people voted for Obama too. He's not going to just make it into office for 2 terms on the black vote alone. There's not enough. The black people only make up 13% of the population.
White and Hispanic.
Yes.
Why? He's an excellent orator.
Yes. He has the gift of gab. Yes, he does.
Excellent orator.
Yeah.
And when you have to, and remember that. Excellent orator. Mr. 81 million votes. You know what Obama's speech was for Mr. 81 million votes?
Yeah, this was during Biden's quote unquote, I'm doing air quotes, can't see me, quote unquote, presidential campaign run. Yeah, where he literally didn't do any campaigning at all. He was somewhere in the Northeast, right? Like up in Jersey or something like that. It's supposed to be like around the area where Joe Biden supposedly has the most support. Obama was there to speak on his behalf and introduce him. And literally the only thing that he had to say was, what, honey?
Joe Biden. Joe Biden. And throw his hands up.
That's it. Nothing else.
2, 3, 4, 5 cars out there blowing the horn, and they were rentals.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it seem like he had so many people. You know, it's crazy to me how stupid they think we are. How stupid they think the American people are. And the thing of it is that the saddest thing about it is they're not wrong on a lot of fronts, because there are a lot of really stupid Americans out there. If you honestly believe wholeheartedly that Joe Biden got 81 million votes, I have some beachfront property in Arizona for sale. Okay?
This dude here, man, he can't fill
a town hall
shop with 81 million votes. He can't fill a ice cream shop with 8.1 people.
Not only that, but Donald Trump literally had a car parade 100 miles long, not 100 cars.
That's what
100 miles.
I'm thinking. Hold on, man. You talking about 100 cars or a mile long? No, baby, 100 miles. Hold on.
100 miles, and that's not counting the boats.
Car parade, 100 miles long.
Yep, sure did. And he fills up every single venue he goes to, and they're not town halls like Joe Biden or ice cream parlors. They're entire stadiums, and he will fill them up
with people still outside looking at huge TV screens.
Yeah.
They're sleeping in the rain for this dude.
They are literally, like, I just saw a video the other day, as a matter of fact, where he was going through, I think it was Long Beach, and he was on his way somewhere. And there's people in California, supposed to be one of the bluest states in the nation, people lining the street.
The roadside.
For him.
For this dude.
For Donald Trump.
Newport Beach.
Yeah. Newport Beach. Was it Newport Beach?
Newport Beach.
Yeah. And I was just like, wow. And they want to convince you so badly that so many people hate him. They don't. They don't, because he speaks on behalf of all of us, not just white people, but every single American.
Make America great doesn't mean us white supremacy, white nationalism, and all the rest of it.
And then you have all these people saying, when was America ever great? When we had jobs, when we had industry, when we were energy efficient, which Donald Trump had us, and now we're back depending on the Arab Emirates we're depending on now, basically.
Saudi Arabia,
the Arabians.
Venezuela.
Yeah.
And a few of these kind of places.
Yeah.
What they consider the greatest generation was World War II, that generation. Because we were not going to get involved in that war. They bombed the joint. Japanese bombed the place. That's what got us involved. And we were building military equipment on the fly. When you look at old newsreels, and there's Jimmy doing his part, picking up rubbish. We were taking rubbish and constructing it into World War II weaponry.
Yep.
The beginning of the end of that, and from that point forward, I hated and still do to this day. Politicians was the Vietnam War. And if you want to see what's going on in Ukraine, who killed your president and all the rest of it, there's a series called Vietnam, the 10,000 Day, nothing else. That one. listen and watch.
It's on YouTube. Yeah.
They started with boots on the ground. Oh, these are our advisors. Geneva Convention. Don't shoot till you see the whites of their eye. Don't shoot till you shot upon. This was guerrilla warfare.
They're not following those rules.
They're not following those rules at all. So here we are in Ukraine. Here's what's funny about the Ukraine business. The moment Donald Trump made that phone call, everyone's hair stood on end. They shit, pissed, farted, and burped to get this guy out of town. And where are we now? Ukraine.
Yep.
Why? They want to kill Putin because of Ukraine. Why?
Right.
Joe Biden. You're not going to get the money until you get rid of the prosecutor. Son of a bitch. They fired the guy. $1 billion is your tax money. And that's chump change compared to what they send in there now.
Oh, man. Yeah.
And let's not talk about every place else in the Middle East where they run out of and leave billions of dollars worth of equipment. These are your tax dollars, man.
I want to know why any American can stand, or how any American can stand behind that when we are literally struggling to feed our families. How can you stand behind any of our money going abroad?
Yeah. Listen, we get up every day. I show it to my son. Look in the car next to you, son. Does that motherfucker look happy to you? No, Pop. Because they're racing. They're racing to get to some place they don't even want to be for a third of their day.
Yep.
So they take their money,
give it to
and
somebody
give it
else.
to somebody else.
Yeah. Not like they're going to use it to go on a wonderful vacation or, anything like
man,
that. No,
this is
they're
shit
paying
you
bills.
working for, man.
Yeah. Like David and I right now, for example, we make we make a good living. We're upper middle class. We're both truck drivers. We make pretty good money. But we are literally living paycheck to paycheck.
Paycheck to paycheck.
And it's not because we have a spending problem. We don't. We don't buy a bunch of frivolous things at all.
You want to see where we were?
It literally goes to our bills.
You want to see where we were? Go in the 60s, in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the Donna Reed show. Robert Young, Danny Thomas. Everything white picket fence. One guy went to work. One guy supported a family.
Yeah, not anymore.
Not anymore. You got to get hurt, and that's part of the breaking down of the family unit.
Yeah, we don't spend time together because we're always at work.
And then they stick this in front of you.
Oh, yes.
Look at alleged families. Every last one of them, and they're going out to eat. Every last one of them like this here. What are you going to order, Joey? What are you going to order, Joey? Joey! You didn't look at the menu yet? Oh, what menu, Dad? That one on the table, motherfucker. What you talking about?
The look on your face was priceless because that's exactly what it is. And like I told David, we were actually in Oklahoma City. Oh, Oklahoma City, folks, if you don't know, has some of the best food. Oh my God, so good. Anyway, we were at this place called Swadley's in El Reno, Oklahoma. Amazing place. If you're ever there, you have to stop. This is not a sponsored video. This is just my honest opinion. But yeah, Swadley's, amazing food. We were in there eating and I started looking around at all of the people that were in there. It was pretty crowded. It was around lunchtime. And I'm looking around and I'm like, babe, you notice that not a single person is on their phone? And not a single person is really even talking because the food was that fucking good? The food was that good. You didn't even want to pick up your phone. So if you go to a restaurant, folks, and you look around, start paying attention to your surroundings. You go to a restaurant and you look around and you see people that are like staring into their phone, not really that interested in the food. Don't even bother wasting your time. Get up and leave.
Listen, let me ask.
But back to the case at point. You're absolutely correct. The phone is an absolute detriment.
How many motherfuckers you damn near killed? They're walking around like this. They're walking out in traffic like this.
Oh my God!
Hit the horn in here.
It's terrifying.
At the road, motherfucker.
It's absolutely terrifying how many people drive with it in their face.
Oh, man.
Drive with it in their face. And let me tell you something, folks. We see everything from the truck. everything. So you think you're hiding your phone by holding it down by the center console. You're not. We see it. You think you're slick when we're coming by you and you just hurry up and put it down. We saw you swerving around in the lane. We saw you going, 5-10 miles slower than the speed limit. These are all indicators. And if we as truck drivers can pick this up, you think the police can't?
But it's not.
But it's you. What is it going to take? This is the part that kills me with texting. And I wanted to actually bring this up in a future podcast. And I probably will again. But I'm going to touch base on it now since we're talking about it. Is that text worth your life? Is that text worth you killing an entire family? Because I don't care how good you think you are at texting and driving, you're not.
Here's my question, dear. To you.
What's that?
The most important investment you will ever make is what?
My house.
What's the next?
My car.
So you think, this is what I'm saying, motherfucker. Do you think whatever's on that phone, whatever's on the other end,
is worth my car?
You tearing your shit up? You got a car, no? Right? The vehicle worth $75,000, $80,000 ain't worth it. Really ain't worth it. But you paying it to run in the back of somebody and tear your shit up.
Let's say it's not even worth that. Let's say it's just a regular, $20,000 car, but it's what you can afford at that moment, and it's your only way to work.
Man.
And you're risking it for what? For what?
It was funny about that. They hit someone in the back, they shit toe up. The dude hit in the back looking.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing going on. While you sitting there on the phone talking about, Jilly, can you come get me my shit toe up?
Yeah.
Did you call the insurance people? Oh, I forgot. We better call them, man.
That's if you're lucky enough to be able to make that call. Because sometimes I saw one, this is crazy. We were going through Mississippi. It was very early in the morning. The sun was just coming up. There was nobody on the freeway. There was like no cars on the freeway. And I'm just cruising along. And all of a sudden I see this car that it looked like it had been flipped over, God knows how many times. Police standing there next to a person laying under a sheet, unfortunately. There were no other cars around. There were no other cars involved. They were still waiting on the ambulance to get there and the coroner and everybody else to get there. And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, there's no cars on the freeway. There's no car on the side of the road that this person hit or, whatever. Did this idiot really just kill themselves over a text? And it's not even just texting that people are doing. They're scrolling, folks.
Yeah, they're scrolling.
They're scrolling Instagram. They're scrolling Facebook. They're scrolling through pictures. You mean to tell me that's worth your life? You can't wait until you get somewhere? Or if you get a text that's urgent, let's say you get an urgent text, you can't pull over somewhere and have a conversation safely. You have to put everyone else's life around you at risk. I have never, in all the years that we've been driving a truck, never ever seen so many crosses on the side of the road. And it's not just one here and one there.
Man, it's some of them
It's
families.
entire families.
Families, yeah. You see 4 or 5 of them.
It's disheartening. And I actually considered, but I'm driving, so I can't always do it now. But when I'm in the passenger seat, I've actually considered taking pictures and making like a collage.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a video montage of all these different crosses that we see. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And if you look at the road, if you guys are out there on that highway, look at the road. Look at the skid marks that are veering off.
Veering off.
Every so many feet, there's skid marks veering off the side of the road.
They bounce all off the guardrail.
Yeah.
And look at the front of a lot of people's car. Bumper hanging off.
Or up.
Bumper hanging all off, flapping in the wind.
I don't get it. And like I said, this is probably something we're going to talk about several times.
Yeah. We'll get back to this.
But yeah, because that's a big one. But the point is, and back to Donald Trump, guys, do your homework. As we're up to the hour mark now. It's about time to cut this short, but do your homework. Stop listening to CNN. Start listening to other people, even ones, any good reporter listens to the side they agree with and the side that they don't. Any person trying to gather information weighs both sides. Stop listening to one side of the narrative and listen to both sides and make your own conclusions.
Get your head out of this motherfucker and start to think and quit letting people tell you what you see and dictate to you what you hear.
That's the bottom line. And start using the brain that you have, because
for something other than not combing the motherfucker or stupid ass hat
A head
wrapped underneath.
filler.
Yeah.
A head filler. It's not a head
Exactly.
filler, folks. It's literally start using it. Stop letting people tell you what to think. Start thinking for
For your
yourselves.
damn self.
Because that's what their entire goal is to have us walking around like little sheep, not thinking, not deducing, not making our own conclusions. And people are just following along blindly. Wake up. It's time to wake up, because if you don't, when you finally do, it'll be too late.
Someone's gonna be standing over your bed with a stick.
That's right. So with that being said, guys, thank you for listening. We appreciate all of you. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell to get notified.
God bless you and yours.
We're out.